If you clicked on this video, this might be where you are right now. Feeling low, disconnected, even depressed, despite no big life tragedy to point at you. You might even feel some guilt about it, saying, I have everything in my life going right for me. I have maybe a job, or I'm studying this thing, and I'm earning money, or I have people that provide for me, everything is going well. And there's people that have it so much worse than I do, yet they don't feel like I do. They don't feel depressed like I do. What is wrong with me? Why do I feel this way? You feel that way because it has nothing to do with what happened to you and everything to do with how you accept what happened to you. I have this family friend who has spent her whole life guiding people from life to death. This is possible because she has this very energetic, almost witch-like intuition, and she's very good at what she does. And I asked her the other day, what is the thing that people struggle with the most till their death? So what is the thing that follows them until they die? What is the hardest thing for them? And she told me that it is the complete acceptance of the self, especially their shadow. The thing that you need to realize is that there is always a reason for things. There is no such thing as a random occurrence of depression or random mood. Everything is interconnected. And in regards to your depression, it's because you are not accepting something that happened in your life, no matter how big or how small. There is something that you are resisting, even if you don't realize it, even if it's almost subconscious, but there is something that happened in your life, that is happening, or even that will happen, that you're resisting. There's a high chance that when I said this, you immediately thought of something, but if you didn't, here is the way to know more or less which things you could be resisting in your life. So think about all the things that you don't like about yourself, all the things that you don't like doing, all the people that you don't like seeing, and all the things that happened in your life that you really didn't like. And now out of all of those things, think about all of the things that keep happening, that keep repeating themselves. One of those, or more than one of those, is probably the cause of your unacceptance of reality. And as the saying goes, everything that you are not changing, you are accepting. And not in the good acceptance way that I'm talking about, in the way of I'm passively having this in my life despite not wanting it for me. So those things that you listed, those things are your shadow. They are the things that you dislike about yourself, but they are there regardless of whether you like them or not. And you can change them, and that's, I think, a whole life's purpose, is to change our shadow, to make ourselves a bit more into light. But in order for you to change them, you must first accept them. There is no denying what happened to you, what you are, only working with it. As Eckhart Tolle says in his amazing, phenomenal book, The Power of Now, he says that the pain that you create now is always some form of non-acceptance, some form of resistance to what is. On the level of thought, resistance is a form of judgment. On the level of emotion, it is some form of negativity. So the mind will seek to deny the now and escape from it. So depression is always, at least in part, some form of non-acceptance of reality. There is what is, and there is what your mind would like it to be, or your mind would like it not to be. And there is no way that someone can be happy, or even more than happy, can be at peace living in that fragmented reality, because there is only, one could argue that there are multiple realities, and of course everyone experiences reality in a different way, because there are as many realities as there are people in the world, and there are beings in the world. But yet there is one reality, which is the fact that things happen, and things happen to you, and you are a certain way, and there is no escaping from that. And this denying that is only denying what is, and is only setting you up for failure and for a form of worthlessness, because you did not live up to what you wanted reality, whatever it is, to be. There is no denying the present because it is the only thing that exists. There is nothing beyond the now. And the mind really tries to deny it because it is not in accordance to what you would like it to be. For example, now there's this frog croaking and I would like it to shut up, perhaps. So there is no denying the presence because it is just happening, it's just unfolding. The only way is to work with it. The only way to overcome whatever you're going through is to work through it, is to accept it. You, as you are right now, it is the only thing that is real. The past is no longer real. The future is not real. Everything that you are right now, as you are right now, is the only reality that is real. So denying it is absolutely insanity. Denying what you are with your shadow and your light is absolute insanity because there's nothing else that exists outside of that. You are suffering because deep down there is some form of non-acceptance. You wished things were different. You are resisting an intrinsic part of yourself, of your history, of whatever surrounds you. There is no resisting, there is only working through, there is only working with it. You are all of that, you are your shadow. There is no escape from that. And because we want to escape, this is why we put ourselves in among this noise and these parties, with these people, with these things, these shining objects and these experiences and all of this, just to drown the fact that there is some part of us that we really do not like and we really would like for it to be otherwise. And this is why a lot of those feelings of worthlessness and of hopelessness and of dread and of resentment come up when we're alone, because it's the moment where we have nowhere to hide. The way to overcome it is to look at it. You would be surprised of how much we could be free from just by being aware of it, just by looking at it, just by sitting with it. I invite you to, if you haven't done it before, to sit with yourself, with your shadow particularly in those moments where it's very hard, but just to be there. Because our tendency is to avoid it. But if you spend a few moments with it, you will see that almost immediately it is less scary than what it was. Shedding light on things tends to just make them so much easier just by being aware of them, just by looking at them. Monsters become bigger monsters because they are always try to avoid it. And so because we are just barely glancing at them, they just seem very big and very horrible, and they might be, but they are even more so if we avoid looking at them. Something very common that happens when we start to look within and to look at ourselves and to examine our life, our actions, our thoughts, and our words is that you will feel the urge to relive the past, to look at the past again, to try to explain why you are doing what you're doing. And that has some value in the beginning, to know what made you that, who made you that. But at some point it also becomes another form of prison, because you become free of it, you become present in the moment, you become friends with your shadow through the present, through the daily actions that help you become more aligned and more acceptant of who you are. There is often this thing of people, especially as they go down this new age and spiritual things, that they start to look at their past lives and to do the family constellation and to see who was who in their family and blah blah blah. That has some value, but I often see people getting lost in that, because it's just another form of prison. It's just another form of non-acceptance of the present, because you feel that by understanding the past you will understand the present, when there are two very different things. The only way to accept is in the present. There is no acceptance in the past because, as the word says, it has passed. You no longer have control over it. In the present, you have complete control over yourself. You have complete control of your traumas, of your experiences, and of your history, because you are right now deciding what do you want to become. True acceptance isn't about endlessly reliving and explaining the past. It's about engaging with the present so fully that the past has no way of weighing you down. So again, it doesn't matter whether what caused your present state was big or was small or is in existence. It's all about how you accept your current life situation, your life. There is no truth, there is no peace until you accept everything that you are, everything that you live through. And once you accept it, change can be enacted. But it starts with that. It starts within, and it starts in the acceptance, the total acceptance, the radical acceptance of the self.